The morning sun kissed Helen's face as she stood at her balcony sipping her coffee. Her 12-year-old daughter, Charity, was sitting on the couch, finishing her school assignments. Helen was a self-made woman. At 38, she owned a successful fashion business that she built from scratch. As a single mother, life hadn't been easy, but she had given Charity the best she could: a good education, love, and comfort. Her friend Evelyn, Charity's godmother, was a constant presence, always visiting to keep Helen company, offering support through life's ups and downs. One afternoon, as Helen closed up her boutique, a man approached her. He introduced himself as Chris, handsome, polished, and effortlessly charming. They exchanged a few pleasantries, and before Helen knew it, one coffee date turned into several. Chris was wealthy and thoughtful, spoiling Helen with grand surprises and romantic gestures. With each passing day, her heart opened further to him. It had been years since she let herself feel this way, and Chris made her feel like she was living a dream. Months later, during a candlelight dinner, Chris got down on one knee and asked Helen to marry him. Overwhelmed with joy, she said yes. They were both ecstatic, talking excitedly about their future together. However, that night, as Helen lay awake, a nagging thought gnawed at her. She hadn't told Chris about Charity. She didn't want to hide her daughter, but she feared the reaction she might get. The next evening, she met Chris at his place, determined to tell him the truth. "Chris," she began hesitantly, "before we finalized everything, I need to tell you something important. I'm a single mother. I have a daughter. Her name is Charity." The smile on Chris's face faded instantly. His expression hardened, and he stood up without saying a word. Helen's heart raced. "Chris," she called after him, but he walked out, leaving her sitting there, stunned. When Helen got home that night, her mind was a whirlwind of confusion. She called Chris over and over, but he didn't pick up. Days passed, and the silence from him was unbearable. Desperate to know what was going on, Helen decided to visit him unannounced. When Chris opened the door, he looked at her with cold indifference. Helen demanded answers, her voice cracking with emotion. "Why are you avoiding me? You haven't been taking my calls. What did I do wrong?" Chris sighed. "See, I'll be straightforward with you, Helen. I don't want to marry single mothers. It's a policy I live by." His words felt like a dagger to Helen's heart. You loved me," she whispered, her voice breaking. "I did, but not enough to change my principles." The door slammed shut, leaving Helen standing outside, shattered. His words hit her like a punch to the gut. Helen stood there, frozen, her heart breaking into pieces. She couldn't understand how someone who claimed to love her could discard her so easily. That evening, Helen sat in her room, tears streaming down her face. Charity noticed her mother crying and tiptoed into the room. "Mommy, why are you crying?" she asked softly, reaching out to comfort her mother. Helen's grief boiled into anger. She slapped Charity across the face, causing the girl to stumble back in shock. "You are the reason for all my problems," Helen screamed. "Get out of my room." Charity ran out, tears blurring her vision. Evelyn arrived just in time to see the distraught girl. Alarmed, Evelyn asked her what happened. Between sobs, Charity told her everything. "What the hell is wrong with you, Helen? Why did you hit your daughter?" Helen sat on the bed, glaring. "She's my daughter, Evelyn. I can do whatever I want with her. What's it to you?" Helen snapped. "I won't stand by and watch you abuse her." Evelyn snapped. "You can't treat her this way, Helen. I will not allow it, Evelyn said firmly, leaving the room in frustration. Days turned into weeks, and Helen's resentment towards Charity deepened. Every mistake the girl made, no matter how small, became an excuse for Helen to lash out. Charity tried to avoid her mother as much as possible, hoping to escape the endless torment. One evening, as Charity poured herself a glass of water in the kitchen, she accidentally spilled some on Helen's dress, who also came into the kitchen to get something. "You cursed child," Helen shrieked. "You ruined my life. I should have never given birth to you." Charity trembled in fear as Helen grabbed a knife from the counter. "Mom, please, it was an accident. I'm sorry," Charity cried. "You are the cause of my problem. I will kill you today. I will end this misery here and now," Helen screamed, raising the knife to stab her. Just then, Evelyn burst into the room. "Helen, what are you doing? Are you out of your mind?" Without thinking, Evelyn grabbed Charity and ran out of the house, her heart pounding. Helen chased after them, but Evelyn managed to drive away before she could be stopped. Evelyn couldn't bear the thought of Charity being harmed. She went to meet a counselor named Akuna, explaining everything that had happened. Akuna listened intently and knew immediate action was required. Akuna and his team arrived at Helen's house. "Madam, you have to come with us," Akuna said sternly, guiding Helen to his office. At first, Helen was defensive. "It's my business what I do with my daughter," she said coldly. But Akuna's calm demeanor disarmed her. "I believe there's more to this," he said softly. "Please, tell me, what's really going on?" Helen hesitated before breaking down in tears. She revealed the trauma she had buried for years, how her parents were killed by her uncle over land disputes, and how he raped her countless times, leaving her pregnant with Charity. She admitted that Chris' rejection had reopened old wounds she thought she had buried. Akuna consoled her, his words soothing her troubled heart. For the first time in years, Helen felt a weight lift off her shoulders. She promised to take care of Charity from that day forward. Evelyn was relieved when Helen apologized to Charity and vowed to be a better mother. Akuna kept visiting Helen, and over time, a bond developed between them. He made her feel special, taking her on dates and showing her kindness she hadn't experienced in years. 1 month later, Akuna proposed. Helen, overjoyed, accepted. Meanwhile, Chris' life took a downward spiral. He was desperate. His search for a wife had turned into a nightmare, as every woman he courted scammed him or left him heartbroken. His friend, Fred, mocked him, reminding him of how he had thrown away a good woman just because she was a single mother. But Chris wasn't sorry for his mistake. He didn't want to listen to reasons. His desperation was fueled by pressure from his father, who was terminally ill and had given his children a strict deadline to marry or risk losing their inheritance. Chris thought he found salvation when his sister introduced him to a quiet, beautiful woman named Anna. They became close, and Chris proposed. Eager to fulfill his father's conditions, Akuna took Helen to his family to introduce her to them. Helen was stunned to discover that Akuna was the eldest son of the Agbogidi family, the wealthiest family in the city. To her shock, Chris was also present with Anna. Helen stormed out in disbelief, and Akuna followed. She told him everything about her past with Chris. Akuna was stunned. He revealed that Chris was his younger brother, but he reassured her. Chris made his choice. He gave you up. You are mine now, so you don't have to worry about anything. Chris took Anna to meet her family. When they arrived, 3 children ran out to meet her, calling her mommy. Chris's heart sank. "Do they call everyone mommy?" he asked, forcing a smile. Anna's mother stepped forward. "Those are her children. She's been married before." Chris was speechless. He left immediately, driving aimlessly in frustration. On the way, he accidentally hit a woman crossing the street. He rushed her to the hospital. When she regained consciousness, he asked her if she had a husband. "I'm a single mother," the woman replied. Chris's mind spiraled. He visited a pastor, desperate for answers. The pastor revealed that Chris was destined to marry a single mother, as he could never father a child. Chris paid some girls to sleep with them to confirm what the pastor had said. To his greatest horror, the pastor was right. In a last-ditch effort, Chris went to Akuna, begging him to let Helen go. "I met her first. The pastor said that I am destined to marry a single mother because I can't father a child. But you can get any woman of your choice. Please, leave her for me. She is better than the others, as she only have one child. Please, brother." Akuna punched him. "You rejected her, and now you want her back? You must be very stupid." "Never. I won't give her up. She's mine now. You had your chance." Akuna replied in anger. Chris went to his mother, hoping she would speak in his favor, but she sided with Akuna instead. "You made your choice, Chris. Live with it." On the day their father was to give his final blessings, Akuna arrived with Helen and Charity. Their sister and her fiance was also there. Failure to appear today meant losing all claims to the family's wealth and inheritance. But Chris was nowhere to be seen. Meanwhile, Chris went back to Anna's house to bring her with him. When he arrived, he asked her mother where Anna was, that he's ready to take her as his wife. But Anna's mother told him that Anna had reconciled with her husband and she has gone back to him. Chris was flabbergasted. He didn't know what to do anymore. Back in Abogidi estate, the atmosphere grew tense. Their father coughed and motioned to start the ceremony, indicating there was no more time to waste. Akuna came before his father. Akuna's father showered him with his blessings. Their sister followed next, receiving her father's blessings with tears in her eyes. When it was time for Chris's blessing, the tension in the room heightened. Their father asked in a raspy voice, "Where is Chris? Does he know what it means if he doesn't show up?" The old man muttered, struggling to catch his breath. Suddenly, the doors flew open. Chris stumbled in, drenched in sweat, accompanied by the woman he had hit earlier with his car. 5 children clung to her sides. Everyone stared, stumbled by the sight. Chris looked disheveled, as if he had been running a race against time. "Dad, I'm here," Chris shouted, rushing to kneel at his father's feet. The old man, his breathing labored, narrowed his eyes at the strange woman and her children. Who are these people?" he asked slowly. Chris, visibly nervous, blurted out, "This is my wife-to-be, Dad, and these are her children." The old man raised a trembling hand to bless Chris, but midway, his breath hitched, his body convulsed briefly, and his hand fell limply to his side. "Dad!" Chris screamed. "Dad! Dad, please bless me! Bless me, Dad!" Chris cried out. His father was rushed to the hospital, where he was confirmed dead. Chris was stunned. He felt his world crumbled. He knelt in the hospital, clutching his head in despair. No, not like this," he cried out, rocking back and forth. The weight of his mistakes crashed over him like a tidal wave. Thank you for watching, guys. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and share to your loved ones. And please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified of our new story. And also share your thoughts on the comment section. Thank you and God bless. Bye.